YouTube, we gotta talk about the rise of the Georgian fighters as it pertains to what's going on this weekend with Roman Dolidze and Anthony Hernandez. But hey, it's your boy DHP, the realest and baddest MMA podcast in the world. And yeah, man, I talked about this on my other platform, but I really haven't taken this topic to YouTube. So we gotta talk about the recent success of the Georgia fighters with, more so with Roman Dolidze as it leads on to Roman Dolidze, but Topuria, Merab, as y'all know, with all MMA, the sport as a whole, built on the back of the Brazilians, the Americans, and then as we led on to like the 2014s, the 2020s, even now, we got the Australians, the New Zealanders. Hey, shout out to that boy Izzy. I know a lot of niggas, they like to do these memes about him being Chinese, but that nigga Izzy is a New Zealander. And part African too. And also the Africans too. We got my African brothers in there with Francis, Marty Usman, and the Marty Usman's brother. And then we got the British folks with Leon Edwards, Tom Aspinall, so and so. But, Roman Dolidze, him being Georgian, especially what's going on with Topuria and Merab, and this is probably not going to be a long-ass video, but I just want to bring awareness to, we haven't realized that Roman Dolidze, with the recent success of Merab and Topuria, all the hype is around them two, Merab, Topuria, about the success of the Georgians, and, what could it do? What could it do for the next future, the next prodigies of the Georgians, right? Coming into the sport of MMA. And then, Topuria brother, Alexandre, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's getting some hype too, just because he's Topuria's brother. And that nigga, he dope as well on his own right. Is he better than his big brother? I don't know about that one, coach. Not yet, at least, but he got some hype on his own too. But, one person that's going unnoticed that potentially could be the third born Georgian fighter, and I'm going to put this pic in the thumbnail, is Roman Dolidze. I don't think majority of the public is really talking about Roman Dolidze and how that correlates to him potentially being the next Georgian super, not just a superstar, but like a champion in the UFC. I don't think a lot of people realize that Roman Dolidze is Georgian, but on my other platform, I talked about how Anthony Hernandez got a lot more to gain in this fight if he was to win, because I feel like the way the middleweight is right now, especially with RDR winning, beating Robert Whittaker, Anthony Hernandez can change all that if he beat Roman Dolidze, because I've said in that video, if Anthony Hernandez, just like on some foreshadowing, if he was to beat Roman Dolidze, and the way how Anthony Hernandez is, I can see the whole middleweight flipping where Caio Borrello and Nasruddin, whoever win that fight, they don't have to worry about RDR, because I feel like they can go ahead and fight the winner of DDP and Khamzat, while Anthony Hernandez more than likely is going to get the next crack at RDR. But with that being said, for YouTube, I'm going to flip that around, because we got to talk about Roman Dolidze as, if he to win this, especially if it gains traction with the mainstream media and the fans that he is a Georgian bred fighter, he can low-key gain more traction in this middleweight division than what he is right now. I feel like him, personality-wise, I feel like he's going to have a little harder road at getting a title shot just because of his personality. And I spoke about this before, about the way the UFC is now. You kind of got to be a Conor McGregor type guy or a Chael Sonnen type guy to even get noticed enough to skip ahead. You know what I mean? But Roman Dolidze, I feel like him being Georgian, it might give him the advantage on some matchups. If it was to gain traction, that a lot of people realize that he's Georgian, because I just did a reaction to the media day, and it's on my other platform, my IG, but he said that he got offered the Robert Whittaker fight, and then basically got snatched from it. It went to RDR, and now his fight, he got offered Anthony Hernandez, which, you know, logically wise, where they are at in the rankings, that's actually a good matchup. That's a real good, morally, rightfully matchup. As you know, for those that new on YouTube, I do monthly ranking videos, and half of my videos I'll be ranting about how these rankings are not morally right. You know what I mean? And some of these guys getting skipped over for title shots just because of the entertainment value and not what's morally right on the rankings. But rightfully so, my philosophy, my opinion, Roman Dolidze and Anthony Hernandez is the right matchup to make. But if Roman Dolidze was to beat Anthony Hernandez, he could potentially get some, and it gained traction that he is a Georgian bred fighter. He can get some good matchups thrown his way, and even like get boosted up in the rankings, or not just boosted up in the rankings, but like more like skip ahead, because that narrative is there that they trying to make this just like how the Australians was, the New Zealand was, and even like the Russians at one point, where the Russians had majority of the UFC belts. And even the Brazilians at one point in time in the UFC, the Brazilians ran the whole game. It ran the whole game. You know, story wise and publicity wise, it would look good on the UFC if somehow they can get 3 Georgian champions. 3 people that are Georgians as champions all at the same time. You know what I mean? It'll be a dope story to run with. But yeah, I just want to make this quick video about Roman Dolidze as a Georgian, because if he keeps on winning the way he's winning, or not the way he's winning, but if he keep on, you know, winning, and he gets up there in title relevancy, this would be huge news. This would be huge news for the sport and for that particular culture in itself, because then it's going to set another whole lineage, if that's how you pronounce it, bloodline lineage of Georgians to come through MMA and try to make a name and a mark in the sport. You know what I mean? Because Topuria is half Spaniard too. So Topuria, and that's why Topuria is starting to become a global superstar more than just a UFC star, because not only is he Georgian, but he's Spaniard too. So Topuria got the appeal of 2 different cultures and 2 different races and stuff like that, 2 different ethnicities and all that good stuff. So Marab is more like a UFC household name. Topuria is going to be something bigger than life. It's going to be like Conor McGregor-ish. Like, this nigga Conor, good or bad, is a household name anywhere, globally. Topuria, he's going to be like that for the good reason. Basically, Topuria is going to be like the good version of Conor, or if Conor was cut out all the BS and he really locked in, like after Floyd, and you know. But Roman Dolidze, he has the potential, if he gets through Anthony Hernandez. We're going to get to the main deep analysis like tomorrow or Friday. I'm trying to figure out when I'm going to do it, because I have something planned. I have something else planned to drop. So I'm either going to do the review, the preview show either Thursday or Friday. More than likely, I'm going to do the preview show. I'll figure it out off camera. But we're going to get to that. Regardless, we're going to get to the main in-depth analysis when that time comes, whether it's tomorrow or Friday. But Roman Dolidze, he also, to flip around what I've said in my other platform about Anthony, Roman Dolidze got potential to do something big with this too. But anyway, you know, obviously the big picture goal is Y'all get ready. And I said this in previous videos about the middleweight changing as a whole. We got this fight this weekend, and then we got to lead off, and then leading off for next week, DDP and Cam Zad. Middleweight is about to just, the rankings in middleweight, everybody's about to shuffle. Everybody's about to shuffle. Especially, I didn't make a video on this on YouTube, but go to my Instagram about the Sean Strickland situation. You might want to check that out, because I do feel like this is a marquee, even though they're back in the rankings with, you know, Roman and Anthony are back in the bottom half of the rankings. This matchup potentially could be one fight away from actually getting to a title shot, all because of Sean Strickland. And if you go to that video, you will understand why. Or for those that do know what's going on with Sean Strickland and his suspension, you definitely know why. But yeah, man. Until my next video, which is tomorrow or Friday, whichever one or whichever day I drop the preview show on, I'm gonna holler at y'all niggas later, man.